Hi, welcome back to Cookery with Dr. Hussain. Today I'm going to be making some Oreo brownies. Really delicious, really easy and fantastic for a treat. So for this recipe you will need...
To make 20 Oreo brownies you will need 235 millilitres of sunflower or vegetable oil, 400 grams of caster sugar, 260 grams of plain flour, 85 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder, 4 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 7 Oreo biscuits. You need to preheat your oven to 175 degrees Celsius, and this recipe is vegetarian and dairy-free friendly.
So I have preheated my oven to 175 degrees Celsius and I'm now going to start making the brownies. These brownies are very indulgent. Brownies are one of those things that I have to admit they're not healthy, but everything in moderation. You can have them as a treat, and that's what we're going to do today. So in my mixer I've already poured the oil and I'm now going to add the sugar. And this is where we know it's not a healthy dish because it's full of sugar, but as I said, occasionally it's okay. I'm now going to give it a little whirl. So the oil and the sugar are now combining. Just mixing this for 2 or 3 minutes and then we will add the eggs. I have used sunflower oil, but you could use vegetable oil if you wished. Either oil is fine. You can replace the oil with butter if you wanted a more richer taste, but oil works just as well. Sugar and the oil have now combined, so I'm going to slowly start adding my 4 eggs, which I have in a bowl, and I've already beaten them up and given them a good stir with a fork to beat them, and I'm going to slowly add the eggs. I'm allowing each section to mix in, and then I'll continue and add all of the eggs until it's all combined together. See that that's all now come together, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to get ready for my next step. In this bowl I have weighed out my flour and I've sieved it into the bowl. I'm now going to add my cocoa powder, and again this is going to sieve this in, so it goes straight into the sieve and then allow it to come through. Can be tricky, so don't worry if you make a bit of a mess. And when you get to the end, there could be some lumps, and you can just use your fingers to press those through. And there we've sieved it all through. Next, what we need to do is add baking powder. So we need half a teaspoon of baking powder going in. So there we go. And we also need half a teaspoon of salt. So baking powder and salt is what's going to help these cakes to rise. Make delicious brownies. Okay, now we're going to add our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients. So I'm going to give this all a bit of a stir. And once this is stirred, be ready to add. Right, before I add my dry ingredients, my wet ingredients, I've just remembered that I've not added my vanilla extract yet. Thankfully I've remembered in time. Sometimes we do forget when we're baking, but here we go. So we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and that will get rid of any eggy smell and make it taste delicious. Okay, so next step, to add the dry ingredients. So cocoa powder is a very fine powder, And flour is bad enough when you add it to a mixer, sometimes it goes everywhere, but cocoa powder definitely sometimes goes everywhere. So you just have to be really careful with this. Add it really slowly, small amount of time, and if it does fly up, don't worry about it. Okay, this is all now combined. I'm very happy with it. Looks delicious already. It's ready to go into our baking tray, so you need to now go and grease your baking tray. So I've greased my baking tray. I'm using a 9" by 12" tray. You can use a slightly smaller, slightly larger one. It should be okay. And I'm now going to pour my mixture into the tray. Try and pour it out evenly, but it will move to fill in the gaps. Just need to get the last bit out of the bowl. And then we need to chop up our Oreo biscuits ready to add. So if your eggs were fresh, you will definitely have a fight over who's going to lick the bowl. We'll sort that one later. So I have 7 Oreo biscuits here, and I'm literally going to chop them in half and then chop each half into 4 sections. Don't worry if they all break up, because they're all just going to be crumbled over the top, and if they're a bit rustic, it actually looks better. So I'm just going to chop them all, and then I'll show you how we put them on top. So the Oreos are all chopped and they're ready to be sprinkled evenly on top. So this is the fun part.
With adult supervision if needed, carefully place the baking tray into the top of the preheated oven and bake for 35 minutes or until you notice the browning pulling away from the edges of the baking tray.
So I've taken mine out of the oven and I've left it to cool for about 20 minutes now, and I'm now going to cut it into slices. It looks amazing, and I will show you how to cut it into slices now. I've turned it over. I've gently just gone down the sides with this instrument, and then I've just turned it over, so hopefully if I lift it off now, fantastic. Okay, so that is the brownie there. I'm going to now turn it back over so that I can chop it into slices. Really carefully lift and turn. Okay, so going to use a very sharp knife now, so you may need an adult to supervise and help you do this, or do it for you. And I'm going to basically score, so I'm going to put 4 lines, so I'm going to make 5 sections here. I'm going to split this into 5 this way and 4 the other way. So I'm just going to put some little scores in so that I know whereabouts I'm cutting. Okay, now I'm going to very carefully and slowly cut through the brownie to create the slices. Okay. Now, it may be a bit difficult cutting through some of the biscuit bits. Don't worry if it goes one side or the other and it looks a bit jagged. That's okay. That's the sort of size you're looking at for your brownie bites. It is very rich, so we don't want to make them too big, but you don't want to be too mean as well, make them too small. So I'm going to continue until I have chopped everything. The brownies have been chopped up and are looking delicious. Can't wait to try them. They're still warm, so definitely time to tuck in. Enjoy.